Democracy started a long, long time ago with a man named Democritus.
One solution. One solution. One version.
He had the idea that the 200 plus families of Athens should all be able to come in together and equally have some type of a vote. They'd be able to participate on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, whatever, in the local government, the idea of a democracy. As society gets bigger and bigger and bigger, this became more and more a problem. With the advent of the American system, they liked the idea of democracy, but really we couldn't get all of the people together in one building to express their points of view. So actually a republic was used where they would elect a representative. They would vote, but they would vote on a representative. Now, the problem with the representative system, known as the republic, would be that the representative might be bought. He could be susceptible to lobby groups and to other different things, because in order for him to get elected, he has to have a campaign fund, and it's very expensive to get elected. So thereby, what he would need to do is make promises perhaps to people who are giving him funds. There's no way that people would give him funds without some type of an idea of an intuitive or whatever promise. A favor. Something was owed. And thereby, the representative might be not really representing.
All right. I will address the issue, and the issue revolves around representation. The people of America are not being represented. Our political leaders are too indebted to special interest groups and party politics. This country was founded on the principle of government of the people, by the people, for the people. We are the wealthiest nation in the history of the world. We are the most powerful nation on this planet, and yet we can't educate our own children. Politicians who represent us and not special interest groups. Whenever they want to distract you, they use weapons of mass distraction. They bring up a constitutional amendment to ban burning of the flag. By spending even one moment in Congress talking about that, you're denying these other things, education, environmental issues. No, what I'm here to talk tonight is about political commercials. That's where most of the money goes in any political campaign. Politicians have to spend so much money just to buy TV time. This is where the special interest groups start. When you have a political campaign that costs $200 million, you owe someone something somewhere down the line. You know, the government said recently, well, a lot of people said that we're cutting back spending, but NASA actually spent $28 million to develop a fountain pen that would write upside down in space in zero gravity. The Russians solved the same problem with 5-cent pencil. Very easy. Writes upside down, zero gravity, after 2 cases of vodka, still writing.
Mr. Dobbs, how would you explain your decision to run for President of the United States?
I decided to run because I'm fed up with party politics. I'm tired of the Republican Party. I'm tired of the Democratic Party.
Oh, little
There's no real difference. It's Mr. Potato Candidate. Basically, you have a thing here where, here's the operative word, party. Because behind closed doors, I think they just have a really good time. When you read some of the transcripts, some of the things your Secretary of Defense says, I think there must be an open bar somewhere. Because the bottom line is, they've lost track of what they're responsible for. They're responsible to the people, not party loyalties, and definitely not lobbyists. That's why I want to run for president.
Not party.
Fully support hydrogen cars.
That's weird, because you're backed by oil companies.
You'll have your turn, Mr. Dobbs.
Sorry.
As I was saying, some of my colleagues and I in the Senate have come up with a very interesting strategy
But
to
if you're in
deal
bed with oil companies, how can you be talking about fuel efficiencies? I mean, that's like being a kosher pig farm.
He's getting angry.
This is not your talk show, Mr. Dobbs.
And you're not on your private plane flying to the golf vacation you took with the three heads of the major oil corporations.
Well,
How did you get there?
It's like something I never saw before.
Mr. Dobbs, you have to return to the
Oh,
podium.
that's a blimp. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Mr.
no
Dobbs.
smoking in the hydrogen. Boom! Hindenburg. Okay.
Mr. Dobbs,
Well, no, I'm just
please,
saying.
please
Of
let's...
course it's for hydrogen. It's going to take 30 years to develop, and meanwhile, we still haven't got any more fuel efficiency. We're not exploring alternative fuels like methane. I know it's hard to do, holding that chicken over the gas tank, but, you know, or ethanol, which is basically fuel
Mr. Dobbs.
alcohol. It's grain alcohol. You could say, if I get stopped by the police, my car's been drinking. Not me, baby. Or maybe helium, because if you have a helium car... If you have a helium car, you get rear-ended, next thing you know, hey, something's wrong.
Mr. Dobbs, you have got to return to your podium.
Daniel, some order.
We have,
Yes, some order. Yes,
we
you talk
have-
about responsibility. What about you? Your Treasury Department lost $28
We
billion.
have- we
They
have
can't account
agreed
for
upon-
it.
please,
Bring accountability.
return to your podium.
Tell me that you are not receiving major campaign finance contributions from the oil companies. That's
Mr.
I
Dobbs.
don't take kindly to the fact that you're calling me a liar, Mr. Dobbs.
I'm basically saying, if this is a debate, you should answer questions honestly. You should be accountable for who you are. The voters should know, basically, what you represent. And if you're representing special interest groups, maybe we should be like NASCAR. You know, we'd be in the Senate with our suits on, and basically they should know if you're backed by something, it'd be like little patches like they wear in NASCAR. You can say, you know, Vioxx, the backaches end, the heart attacks begin. We'll put the big one on the back, Enron. We take your money and run.
Smackdown.
Accountability. It's all about accountability. I'm saying that $100 million the government bought in airplane tickets.
For God's sakes,
And
you
yet
get some
they're
real trouble
refundable.
here. Stand by
They're
on three.
refundable.
Take
They
three.
didn't ask for the refund, and the airlines are still
Faith,
broke.
can you hear me? Yes, can you get control of this, please? Get control of this.
Don't you see? We deal in weapons of mass destruction. They push your buttons. That's how they do it. He's talking about hydrogen fuel. He wants an amendment to the Constitution on flag burning. It's an emotional issue. They're talking about the desecration of the flag, but if you go online right now, you can buy flag underwear. You can see an old lady basically wearing a flag thong and go, oh, Grandma, don't tell me where Old Glory is. It's all about distraction.
Mr. Dobbs.
No, sir, Mr. Kellogg. This is
Dobbs,
ridiculous.
totally
You want to
out of
pass
line.
amendment
This morning-
against same-sex
Out of
marriage.
line,
Anybody who's
Mr.
ever been
Dobbs.
married knows it's always the same sex.
Mr. Dobbs.
They know what to do.
What's up with that?
Mr. Dobbs, please.
It's a distraction. They point over here, they point over there, they want you not to know. You don't have to have an amendment to the Constitution burning the flag. Make it out of asbestos. No one will want to touch the flag.
Mr. Dobbs, please do not make a mockery of this process.
Ma'am,
Return
it's
to
been
your
a mockery a
podium.
long time before I came here,
Mr.
Faith.
Dobbs!
No, I know we got applause. This is wonderful. We're out of control here. We're absolutely out of control.
$200 billion, you can buy a few books.
Mr. Dobbs!
Then came along the ideas of the party, the Republican and the Democrat. And the ideas of this party system also became a bastardization because people started working for the party and not really the people who voted for them.
Tired Democratic Party, I'm tired Republican Party. But this is what we're talking about, freedom of speech, and it also comes down to the idea of freedom of religion, the idea of practicing any religion you want, anytime, anyone. You could be anything. You could be Bush. You could be Jewish and Buddhist. You sit and you wait for things to go on sale. That's okay. There's nothing. Are you scared of having twice as many lobbyists as they've ever had before? Then I have an idea. Don't vote for the congressmen or senators. You don't have to vote because you know how we're going to pick them? The same way we pick a jury. And you're getting more interesting cross-section than the folks you got right now. I guarantee you. Do you want a better health care system? You have an HMO that basically says, we'll give you Viagra, but we won't pay for glasses. So you can have a heart on, but you can't see where to put it. We're going to change it, aren't we? Yeah! Now, we're not just talking liberal or conservative, big-time change. You know, recently, a lot of the past administration said it's unpatriotic to question the government. You know, if it was unpatriotic to question the government, we'd still be English. The Boston Tea Party wasn't people going, oh, hello. There was a lot of guys in Boston going, here's your tea right here. Environmentalists saying, you're a tree hugger. I go, no, I've done more than hug a tree. If you find the right naughty pine, you're going to have a good night. Oh, yeah? Who's your woodsman? Who's your woodsman? I'm not just a tree hugger. I'm an air breather. I'm sorry. It's bad enough when a squirrel is outside going,
Please help me. I can't breathe today.
because if you put enough chemicals in the water, eventually you'll be fishing going, you know, Bob, I love catching them two-headed bass. They're good eating once you get past the tumors. There's some good eating out there. Tired Democratic Party now. I'm tired Republican Party now. But that's why we're here, because you want change. Yeah! You want to shake it up? You have to be eyes wide open, ready to move on. Arm in arm, hand in hand, everybody together, moving forward, because the future is now.
The Republican Party would push people around and tell people, if you don't really work with us, we're not going to support you in the next election. So the party system started coming off, and we have the two-party system. Now we see in The Simpsons the idea that both candidates in the two-party system are actually aliens who have taken over the bodies, and yet the American people can only vote for these two people. This is a complete ludicrosity, but this is the way that it really is. That's why it's so incredibly funny. You see, Kang and the other guy, that's all we got to choose is Republican.
Son of a... Oh my God, space aliens, don't eat me! I have a wife and kids, eat them!
Silence! We are travelers from a certain nearby ringed planet whose name we'd prefer not to mention. My name is Kang, and this is my sister, Kodos.
Hello. I suppose you want to probe me. Well, might as well get it over with.
Stop! We have reached the limits of what rectal probing can teach us.
This is a mission of conquest. Take us to your leader. Well, I guess you mean President Clinton. He usually hangs around Washington, D.C.
President Clinton. Excellent.
Except, there's this election next week, so after that it might not be him anymore. It might be, what's his name? Mumbly Joe. I saw him on TV the other... Bob Dole.
An election. That complicates matters. Set grid coordinates for Bob Dole.
Well, night, everybody.
Night, Senator. Mr. Dole. Good luck next week.
What? Bob Dole doesn't need this.
What's happening? Is it noon already?
What the hell is this? Some kind of tube? Hey.
Well, thanks for taking care of Dole for me. Hey!
Commence bioduplication.
Oh, no. Aliens, bioduplication, nude conspiracies. Oh, my God, Lyndon LaRouche was right. What? Are you still here? I'm afraid we'll have to dispose of you. No! What are you spraying me with?
Run! So no one will believe your story.
Ah! And don't come back.
Ket Brockman here with Campaign 96. America flips a coin. At an appearance this morning, President Clinton made some rather cryptic remarks, which aides attributed to an overly tight necktie.
I am Clinton. As Overlord, all will kneel trembling before me and obey my brutal commands. End communication.
That's Slick Willie for you, always with the smooth talk.
March! There I was. I had just caught the largest fish you'd ever seen when I was abducted by a flying saucer.
Sure you were, Rummy.
That's one of the creatures!
Senator Dole, why should people vote for you instead of President Clinton?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
Doomed! Well, a refreshingly frank response there from Senator Bob Dole.
These candidates make me want to vomit in terror. I've got to stop them.
Ladies and gentlemen, 73-year-old candidate Bob Dole.
Abortions for all. Very well. No abortions for anyone. Abortions for some, miniature American flags for others. Fooling these Earth voters is easier than expected.
Yes, all they want to hear are bland pleasantries embellished by an occasional saxophone solo or infant kiss.
Mr. President, sir, people are becoming a bit confused by the way you and your opponent are, well, constantly holding hands.
We are merely exchanging long protein strings. If you can think of a simpler way, I'd like to hear it.
My fellow Americans, as a young boy, I dreamed of being a baseball. But tonight I say we must move forward, not backward, upward, not forward, and always twirling, twirling, twirling towards freedom. Stop! Those candidates are phonies! You heard me. They're alien replicants from beyond the moon.
Yeah, right, pal.
Don't forget your stinking flag.
Oh, why won't anyone believe my crazy story? Oh! Hold on, guys. I'll help you.
Oh, no. Am I still here? I don't want to serve out my term naked in a tube.
I am so mad at the Secret Service right now. Hey, who the hell are you?
I'm Homer Simpson, sir, and I'm going to get you back to Washington before it's too late.
You know, Senator, being in suspended animation gave me time to think. Partisan politics are tearing our country apart.
You got a point there, Bill. If you and I are going to whoop these one-eyed space fellas, we're going to have to set aside our differences.
Together, we can lead America into a new golden age.
Friend, you got a deal. Homer, let us out. It's time to tear those aliens a third corn shoot.
Yeah. Oh, no. What have I done? What am I doing? What will I do?
The politics of failure have failed. We need to make them work again. Tomorrow, when you are sealed in the voting cubicle, vote for me, Senator Bob Dole.
I am looking forward to an orderly election tomorrow, which will eliminate the need for a violent bloodbath. America, take a good look at your beloved candidates. They're nothing but hideous space reptiles. It's true. We are aliens. But what are you going to do about it? It's a two-party system. You have to vote for one of us.
He's right. This is a two-party system. Well, I believe I'll vote for a third-party candidate.
Go ahead. Throw your vote away.
All hail President Kane!
I don't understand why we have to build a ray gun to aim at a planet I never even heard of.
Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
Or Democrat. And if they ran a Caterpillar, that's what people feel that they would have to vote for. That is how incredibly entrenched this two-party system has become in America. That there really is no way that people would see a third party. Also, what happened is people became very, very stupid because of the lack of equal economic education and lack of a good education at all. Most people are making up their minds based on very little data, and often data that has nothing whatsoever to do with a good candidate. They make up their mind whether they like his smile, whether his dog is the same kind of dog as they have, what kind of suit that he might wear. And really, they're not really making up any ideas of what is a true government or a good government. Now, the idea of this basic democracy has gone afoul. We try to push this democracy all over the world to make people vote, but it's just a matter of time before we vote in another person like Adolf Hitler, who was elected. A latent suppressed homosexual, struggling for power, became powerful, and pushed his power on people, and made a terrible mess of things. America had another one, Harry Truman, who dropped an atomic bomb on human beings, on a country without an army, without a navy, without an air force. The war was over after the Battle of Tokyo, but yet Harry Truman dropped nuclear weapons on non-military targets without a warning. If you see my movie on this, you could get a real idea. This is a war crime. However, let's get back to our point. Our point is we shouldn't have one man at the top, and that's really kind of a ludicrosity as well. But what about a true democracy? Is it possible with today's technology?
Voter confusion, endless recounts, unreliable results, democracy held hostage. In today's America, technology empowers the public in nearly everything they do. And now, voting with confidence. Introducing.
One man, one goal. Just one mission.
Could somebody run on the computer party? Could somebody actually run with the idea that he would not vote out of his own mind, but he would spend all the money he gets and direct a television show, direct an internet show, and let the people vote on every issue that he's presented with? There's roughly about 10,000 issues that they vote on every year, but the vast, vast, vast majority of these are just, should they send a flag to a school in North Carolina? But the real key issues, which are usually about 100 of them a year, these really should have the people voting. And if we had a computer party, the guy could make a deal that if elected, he would vote as the people vote, using the Social Security numbers and some other key security systems. People would be able to, at home, cast a vote. Lots of issues come up, whether they could sell their vote or whatever. There's lots of issues to this that need to be discussed and worked out, but thereby people would actually have a vote, or at least wise be able to express their opinion. What happens if 10% of the people only vote on issues? Then we have to really look at this. But there is the technology today to build a computer party, to actually give the vote to the people. This would end the two-party system. This would end the lobbyist. The lobbyists come to the man and say, we want you to vote this way. And he'd say, I can't. I vote the way the people vote. If you want to do your lobby, you're going to have to convince them. If we really had a computer party, then we could have a true democracy. Just think about it. Being able to look at the government on a day-to-day basis and express your own opinions in a format that other people would be able to look at, evaluate, chat rooms, talk rooms, people be able to choose who they wanted to really listen to, television shows, etc., and get a full idea of these issues and then be able to vote on them. We're probably going to soon see that most people really don't have the time to be involved on a day-to-day basis. And thereby, they might want to have committees. They might want to have people whose full-time job it is to actually look into these issues. And that might then tell their networks more eloquently what the issues are and maybe which way they should vote. These are all the different ideas that could happen. But we could build, with today's technology, a true democracy and take it out of the hands of the big money, ultra-rich, and take it out of the hands of the politicians and put it into the hands of the people, because that's what it's supposed to be. A government by the people, of the people, and for the people. And today it has become a government of the representative, for the representative, by the representative. And that representative is controlled by the corporations and the lobby groups who tell them what to do, and the party systems who tell them what to do. This is not for the best interest of the people.
Voter confusion, endless recounts, unreliable results, democracy held hostage. In today's America, technology empowers the public in nearly everything they do. And now, voting with confidence. Introducing.
One man, one goal, just one mission.
We have the chance to turn the pages over. We can write what we want to write and make it smooth before we get much older. We're all someone's daughter. We're all someone's son. Long can we look at each other down the barrel of a gun. You're the best to understand it. Make a noise, make it clear. Oh. We're not gonna sit in silence. We're not gonna live with fear. Oh. Oh. This time we know we all must stand together with the power to be powerful. Believe it, we can make it better. Ooh, we're all someone's daughter. We're all someone's son. Oh, can we look at each other down the barrel of a gun? You're the voice trying to understand it. Make a noise, make it clear. Oh, we're not gonna sit in silence. We're not gonna live with fear. Oh, no. Can we look at each other? Down the barrel of my gun! Hear the voice try to understand. Make a noise, make it clean. Oh, we're not gonna sit inside. We're not gonna live with fear. Oh no, no, no. Hear the voice try to understand. Make a noise, make it clear. Oh no. We're not gonna sit inside. We're not gonna live with fear. Oh no. Hear the voice try to understand. Make a noise, make it clean. Oh, we're not gonna sit inside. We're not gonna live with fear. No, oh, oh. No. Make a noise, make it clean.
We need to get back to the true computer party, a true democracy. Let the people really have their say. This is Desiree Dubonnet signing off.
One solution.